Recruiter here to review your resumes. The resume we have up first is a full-stack software developer that has a disgustingly bad resume. This garbage resume has gotten them 0 interviews in 6 months. So this is really, really bad. And I'm calling the resume garbage, not them. They are not garbage. The resume is. But for a full-stack software developer, which I want to let everybody know I do more than tech, but right now the tech market is in the toilet. So most of the resumes sent to me are tech. I think this is the worst tech has been since probably 2008. That's how bad it is for tech right now. So for a full stack software developer, what we need is degree, TypeScript, JavaScript, CSS, HTML, TypeScript, JavaScript, CSS, HTML, TypeScript, JavaScript, HTML, CSS. If you do not have TypeScript, JavaScript, HTML, CSS in the first line of your first sentence, you are probably going to get rejected, which I expect this person doesn't, since again, they've gotten 0 interviews in 6 months. Then I need React or React.js, Node.js, Angular, Next.js, SQL or NoSQL, RESTful APIs or REST APIs, any of the cloud, or if you have GCP, you have to write Google Cloud Platform and then parentheses GCP. CI/CD, Git, .NET or Python or Java, and bonus points for all that other good stuff. I will say sometimes you can replace TypeScript with another backend language, but if you do not have JavaScript, CSS, HTML, you are not going to get moved forward. So let's see why this resume is garbage, because again, they're getting 0 interviews in 6 months. So this is not just Lee decides this is a bad resume. This is everybody in the market does. So recruiters only have 20 seconds to find what we need. That's all the time we have. The recruiter that takes longer than that gets laid off. No, fired, not laid off. Laid off is no fault. Fired is for fault. The recruiter that takes too long gets fired. That would be at fault, and they would be that. So 20 seconds on the clock. And go. Summary does not matter. Where's your education? Education is there. Good. Architected a centralized document uploading using, okay, kind of, but 70, what? Optimize latency critical backend improving. This is a hot dog. CI/CD is at least good. What? Okay. And time. So yeah, they don't have what we need. The goal is to have 75% of these to move forward, and they did not, mainly because they did not have TypeScript, JavaScript, CSS, HTML. Everybody fights me for it, but when you put it in, you get interviews. I cannot teach you. I cannot change the world, but I can teach you how to play the world's game, okay? So yeah, this is bad. So here's what we need to do. First off, fix your formatting. This is atrocious. This is what your resume should look like. This is how to do it. The link to that is below in the description. You should definitely check that out. Second off, professional summaries are not needed. The only time you need a professional summary is if you are relocating, because you need to explain where you're relocating to. If you're explaining a visa that does not end with you getting an H-1B, because nothing you do to explain that will make it better, but like a TN visa you would need to explain. Or you are switching industries. And by switching industries, I mean you are going from, well, a recruiter to a mechanical engineer, or a mechanical engineer to a recruiter, all right? That big of a difference. Otherwise, you do not need it. Second off, this should be one line, no bolding. Oh my gosh, yeah, your formatting is so hard to read. Arial 10.5 is what you want, all right? Arial 10.5, this shows you how to do it right here. Arial 10.5, spacing 1.5 for everything down here. That'll make it easier to read. Second off, architected a centralized document upload system using Next.js, Node.js, and internal RESTful APIs, reducing manual processing time by blah, 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 to design through production deployment to AWS following software development best practices. Cool. That's not a qualification, and here's why. So, skill sections don't count. Do not have anything in a skill section, nor do summaries for this. But what a qualification is a keyword, which is something the hiring team needs, which would be right here, plus how you did it, which you did actually tell me how you did it, and the business reason that you did it. Not the technical reason that you did it, the business reason that you did it. So I don't know why you did this for the business. You did not tell me. And where it is. But you do have where. So the problem is I need you to show me here the business reason you did it. Why does it matter that you did this stuff? And you also don't want any numbers. The only numbers that should be in your resume are here, here, and your contact information. If you do not have that, you will not get moved forward. Sorry, if you do have those, it's going to make your resume worse. So no numbers in the bullet points themselves unless you're in sales, which do need numbers, or leadership roles such as managers who do need numbers. But everybody else, software engineers, stop putting these percentages. The only exception to this is the scale of what you are working on, and the only thing is the number of people that used your product. That's it. The only number I want to see for non-leadership roles in software engineers is the number of people that used your project, and that is only for startups that you're applying to. So let me read what this person said. Not getting any interviews. So yeah, that is part of the problem, is that you do not show me the business reason, and you have a bunch of random numbers in here. 70% deliver blah 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 blah. And then optimized this. Okay, this has nothing to do. This is entirely a hot dog. So I want you to imagine that you are hungry, and you go to a restaurant and you say, I want a cheeseburger with pickles, onions, and that's it. A cheeseburger with pickles and onions. And they say, a cheeseburger with pickles and onions, and they say, yep. So they write down your order, they go back to the kitchen, and they bring you a hot dog with cheese, pickles, and onions. And you say, excuse me, I think there's been a mistake, which hopefully you do. Hopefully you don't just... Hopefully you respond back to the person and say this politely, is, hey, I ordered a hamburger. This is a hot dog. And they say, no, this is what you wanted. A hot dog has meat like a hamburger. A hot dog has buns like a hamburger. A hot dog has pickles, cheese, and onions just like a hamburger. So thus, what you wanted was a hot dog. Here is your hot dog. You would look at them like they were crazy, and you would walk away without paying. And that is what you did. Optimize latency critical backend and front ends, improving API response time by 50% and increasing platform reliability under production load. That is a hot dog. Nothing in there is directly related to what I wanted. It is tangentially related. It is a hot dog. It has meat just like a hamburger and buns just like a hamburger, but it is not a hamburger. So thus it does not count. Manage CI/CD pipelines, Git-based version controls of Docker centralized monitoring. This is incomprehensible. Yes, you mentioned the keywords, but this is incomprehensible. So this is bad. You need to fix this sentence. But also, where's the JavaScript? Do I even see that? JavaScript is... No, it's all the way at the bottom in a skill section. Skill sections don't count. All right, there's no JavaScript. What about TypeScript? There's no TypeScript at all in this resume, which, again, you can kind of replace with the backend. But I don't even see your backend. Where's your backend? Where's the Python or the Java or the C? Did I miss the Python? No, it's not there. It's in the project section. Enhance code quality by identifying blah 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 hot dog. Collaborating with design and project team to align technical solution with customer needs. Both technical. This actually can be useful. I like where this is. The problem is the rest of the bullet points suck, but this is not terrible. They do want to make sure the engineer can actually talk to other people. So this is not a bad one. This is this would be extra credit so that you can talk to the technical people. But again, the only things I found here are Node, Next.js, RESTful APIs, AWS, CI/CD, and Git. Where's your actual stack? Where's the JavaScript, the CSS, the HTML, the TypeScript? Where is the SQL? Did I miss SQL? Yeah, where's the SQL? Where is... I mean, mainly that. Where's the... Do you have React? Yeah, where's the React? So you don't have those things, which is why you're getting declined. Built a real-time computer using TensorFlow, blah, 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 blah. Not what I'm looking for. That's extra credit. SQL, there it is, but the rest of this is incomprehensible. Actually, I didn't mean to do the second one. Yep, this is worthless. There's nothing here I really need. Analyzed, blah, 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 blah. Doesn't matter. Again, well, the Python might, but you have filled your resume with things that are tangentially related, and you do not see... I don't see that you're full stack. I don't see your back-end language. I don't see your front-end language. I don't see TypeScript, JavaScript, CSS, HTML. I don't see .NET or Python or Java. I don't see React. And I don't see the business reason why you did it. This is why you're getting 0 interviews in 6 months. And if you want to know how people get interviews with my method is you can judge how good your resume is by how many applications it takes to get an interview. And anything under 50 applications to one interview is good. That's a good resume. And when people follow my method, what they get is a 1 in 7 application ratio. So this person is just this person's getting nothing in 6 months. So this is not just Lee thinks this is a bad resume. It's Everybody in the market thinks this is a bad resume because it is incomprehensible to the layman. It has zero of the tech that we actually, well, it doesn't have the main tech stack, which is what actually gets you a job, which should be in the first bullet point. And it doesn't say the business reason why, which is also why hiring managers are rejecting it. Like, you can get past the recruiters without the business reasons. You can't get past the hiring manager without the business reasons. And I don't think giving advice that only works on recruiters is good advice. That's why my advice works on the hiring manager as well. So I'm going to need you to take this resume, fully delete it, with the exception of this bullet point, which should be the last one. And I'm going to need you to add the stuff that we actually want and tell me the reason you do it. Because right now it's nothing. This is the importance of actual having the tech stack. Because if you don't pick a tech stack and it doesn't look like you did, you're going to be in for a bad time. So that's all I can do for this resume. I just want to thank all of my members who get access to videos a little bit early. Thank you very much for supporting my channel. I really appreciate it. And I want to thank anybody else. If you ever want to join to be a member, you can join in the link below. But if you ever need more help, you can join my live stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 a.m. PST at twitch.tv/headlesshunter. I guess hit the like button and thank you for subscribing. I really appreciate it. And let's go to the next resume. This is a resume of a data engineer. And apparently this person is getting 3 interviews per about 50 applications, give or take. So even if this doesn't follow my format, apparently this is working. I'm going to find out why it's working. Although out of the corner of my eye, I see a top secret security clearance, and I'm fairly certain that this is doing most of the legwork in the resume. If you have a security clearance, woo boy, you are good. You don't need you don't need a resume, because right now apparently it's like a nightmare to get one. And nobody has it. So let's see what the rest of the resume is. Because honestly, they probably should get more than 1 in 50 with a security clearance. So it's possible this resume should be like a 1 in 2 to a 1 in 3. But it's actually a 1 in, a 18? But let's find out. So what we need for a data engineer is Python, ETL, ELT, SQL, Cloud, data, models, data lakes, etc. Snowflake, Snowpipe, any of those. Ability to manage, communicate data plans and non-technical people. Meet multiple deadlines. DevOps, big data, data visualization, industry, and bonus for MS Office. All right. And 20 seconds on the clock. So go. Again, this is not good. This doesn't count. This doesn't count. Selected first team guy, that's from the leadership. Okay, I actually like that one. Design and configure data pipelines, good. Event-driven pubs, test for data quality. Supporting Department of Defense for India specific. Data pipeline, CM, APIs, utilize Fred brief, multiple foreign army generals. Yeah, this is so specific. Okay. I don't know if this is actually the correct list for this type of data engineer. This is highly specialized, it seems, for like governmental stuff. This might be a different one. I would recommend, and the bullet points are not the worst, actually. They're not the greatest, but they're not the worst. So here's what I would recommend. For the roles that you are getting a ton of interviews with for the government, I don't think you should really change stuff, because the government has a different way that they want to do it. But for third-party contractors and everything else, I would recommend switching to this, right? So switch to this formatting. Education should be up at the top. Yeah, education needs to be at the top. Actually, no, you haven't graduated yet. So that's actually... Oh, no, you expected it this year. Yeah, education be at the top because it's within 2026. And then here, I need you to simplify some of this stuff. And what I need you to do is, well... Quite simply, I need you to take everything that's here, and I need you to move them into here, right? Same with this. You need to take this stuff and combine them into the bullet points. Your education should be up here, and under your education, in fact, before your education, you need to put education at certs in the summary. So what you should put is just a summary up here, which you do have is data secrets, SEI compliance, right? You need to have this one. This is absolutely needed. This should be up at the top. So this should be right here. Then your education goes here. And then again, you're going to repeat what was up here. and put it down here again so they have that. And then I need you to put these into here. But the bullet points that I have are not actually terrible. Like, I was expecting this to be just like very industry specific, but some of these bullet points are good. They actually showed really, really well about the reason result. And I like this one. I like that. I wish you had a little bit more of the keywords, but I do actually like selected for a specialized team to conduct gap analysis, technical expertise to senior leadership, communicate data plans, and a system integration. Especially, it was down here. Where did it go? There was the 3-star general one. What was it? Here it is. Develop. Again, I wish you had a little bit more of the relevant qualifications up here, but this right here, I really like, and I want to highlight this, of briefed multiple foreign army generals and U.S. Army generals on how to leverage cybersecurity intelligence data in support of multi-domain operations. Again, would I like you to have like 1 or 2 keywords in there? Yes, but this shows that you can communicate data plans to non-technical people. This is fantastic. This is an amazing, amazing bullet point. So while this format is garbage, and while you do not have a ton of the keywords that I would have liked, I will say these bullet points are structured correctly, which well-structured bullet points will get you interviews. So how you structured this is better. But honestly, you should probably get more than a 1 in, what is it, 18 with this, because your security clearance and your level of experience, I think you should be getting like a 1 in 3, a 1 in 5 for these types of roles. Because it's very niche, and the problem is, again, you don't put these in here, right? These need to be in here. These go here. So if you just do that, I think you're going to be fine. Next resume. This is a data analyst resume. So for a data analyst, what we need in the US, and again, I've gotten data analyst jobs also outside the US, but in the US, what we need is degree, industry, SQL, data visualization, influencing stakeholders, explaining technical concepts to non-technical stakeholders. That is in so many jobs besides software engineers, is you really want to explain complex topics to non-technical people. How you solved a problem with the data, not what the data is. Right? I don't care that you used a Monte Carlo to get a 32.5% font potato format. All I care about is what you use that to solve a problem with, okay? MS Excel, you definitely need this. Macros, pivot tables, VLOOKUP, Word, ETL, Python, R, multiple projects and deadlines, and nice to have cloud and AI. All right, so this person is getting 2 interviews per 100 applications, which is a C-, right? Like that does pass. I want to clarify. C- does pass. Now, there may be an exception of based on where they are in the world that the amount of jobs are less, but which would make a 1 in 50 not a C-, because like there's only 20 jobs appearing per week, then a 1 in 50 is bad. But in the US at least, a 1 in 50 would be C-, right? Barely passes, but it does pass. So, really struggling to get past this. Please be harsh with the CV, and my main aim would be able to get more calls. Well, that is what I'm here to help you. So, 20 seconds on the clock. Let's see what is good and is bad with this resume. And go. Okay, location. All right, this doesn't count. Work summary. Prove data accuracy. Okay, doesn't count. Enabled ongoing decision making by serving as a POC. What's POC? For client leader, regular ad hoc work requests from internal stakeholders. Supervise 2 analysts, meeting with timelines and managing expectations. Signing priority inconsistency in media. Okay. I'm expecting this to be worse than a 1 in 50 because I think the job market in the UK for this is less. So I'm letting you know most of these are going to be correct. There are some slight differences, like maybe I would want, let's say, Java instead of Python for this, but otherwise they should work. So first things first, I don't know what you mean by work permit. I've reviewed a bunch of EU roles. What do you mean by work permit? I don't know. You didn't tell me. This may be something you have to explain. Maybe it is. Maybe it isn't. I'm trying not to too much in the EU stuff because too much in the EU I don't know. But this I do know is I don't care about references on request. You need to make this format. This, easy to read. Okay? This, easy to read. I can go farther in the resume. This, very difficult to read. It's like a wall of text. I can barely read it. This good, this bad. So fix your formatting. And then again, everything here needs to be in bullet points. Because remember, I need to know what you did, how you did it, the reason and result you did it, and where you did it. So a summary does not count. Okay? Then we go down to here and improve data accuracy. That is not how you solved a problem with data. That is what you did with that is how you got the data. So I don't want that. I want to do something for data modeling is fine, right? Like, so created data models by using SQL and Python to implement QA processes so we could X and Y, right? But right now this doesn't work. Enabled ongoing decision making by serving a POC, point of contact. But again, I don't think that matters. I like the fact, like, again, I'm not saying that you interacted with stakeholders. I'm saying how you convince them, how you influence them, how you explain things to them. You can't just say, I was in a meeting with a stakeholder. You have to say, I used a data visualization, Tableau, to convince our stakeholders to go with X so that we could Y. So this is mostly a hot dog, right? Does not count. Mostly a hot dog. Proactively manage data quality. Why do I care about data quality? Who cares about data quality? What does data quality do for me? That's what I care about. What does the data quality do for me, not what the data quality is, right? So proactively manage data quality. Who cares? And assumption changes. I don't know what that is. By designing a Power BI dashboard, actually something I'm looking for, to flag inconsistencies in media spend and financial KPIs, reducing reporting errors and ensuring stakeholder transparency. See, that's actually good. This part's good. The first part of your sentence is bad. So designed a Power BI dashboard to do that is good, but now I need another two. Because remember, you want a minimum of 3 keywords per bullet point. So this first one, not good. Again, I want better than this. SQL is great. Python is good, but you don't really describe it how. This you do describe how, you just take too long. Conducted finance reconciliation by analyzing and reconciling using Python. Again, I don't care about the number. Who cares about the 50K row? No job description has ever said that I've ever seen in my life says, if you do not have 50K, what did you say? 50K financial rows of data sets, we will not move you forward. Not a single job description says that. So, conducted financial reconciliation using Python, exporting the validated outputs to Excel, and then I want to see like pivot tables and VLOOK. I want to see pivot tables VLOOKUP for this. It's advanced Excel, not just Excel. Via Simba for why I don't care about Simba. This is not the Lion King for cross-team financial review. But why did it matter that you did that? I don't know. You didn't tell me. Reduced analyst turnaround time by 12 minutes. Who cares? On 40 million rows, nobody cares. Data sets by optimizing SQL. Okay, good. And the rest is not. Like you filled this resume with hot dogs, and it's so hard to read. But it really bugs me because like you do have the qualifications here. Even here I can see it. This is why you're getting some of these are written good. It's just I can't find them because I only have 20 seconds. No one's going to spend this long digging through all of this stuff to get to the first good bullet point. Or here, which actually has some solid ones down here. I actually kind of like some of these. Some of these are good. Like provided KPI updates to team in under 2 minutes. I don't care about the 2 minutes. Power BI dashboard is good. DAX doesn't matter. And star scales and SQL does. So like, you've buried it. You've tried to do too much and you've made your resume worse. This is not a bad, like, this is not the worst resume ever, but like if you reduced the hot dogs and you got more hamburgers, you would get interviews. Because right now it's too dense and too technical and no one has the time to dig through it. If I had 5 minutes per resume, I guarantee you would be getting through a ton of jobs. But we have 20 seconds. Technically, we actually only have 12 seconds, but I communicate it, so I have to add a couple of seconds because that's not fair. So shrink this down, add more of this stuff, and the business-wise, and stop with the numbers. Nobody wants these numbers. Next resume. This is a resume of a Python software engineer backend. So what we need for a Python developer is Python. You need Python. SQL, any of them. Docker, Cloud, any of them, RESTful APIs or REST APIs, Git, CI/CD, and this is where it breaks down into, there's kind of two different Python developers. There's a strong backend Python developers that has some front end, so full stack, or which you want TypeScript, JavaScript, CSS, HTML, JavaScript, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, HTML, CSS, and React. You want React. Or it breaks down into AI, which you want like ML, Agentic, and its tools. And then nice to have is Fast API, Flask, Django, and then rarer is ETL, Java, OAuth, MongoDB, Microsoft architecture. The only numbers you may want is, again, startups do like the number of users you have. Otherwise, you don't want those numbers. So this is a resume. This hurts my eyes. They did not tell me the ratio or anything else, so let's see what they have. This scares me. All right, 20 seconds on the clock, and go. I hate all of this. All right, this doesn't count. Project details. Why? FinTech Ledger API, architected to secure multi-layered RESTful API using Fast API and Python asynchronous. It's not terrible. Program implementing custom state with JavaScript role control. Too much information. Oh, I hate this. An engineered high-performance SQL analytics by offloading aggregate for scalable data modeling. Gosh, I hate this. Your bullet points are not terrible, but your formatting is so hard to read. So, formatting, what I want you to do is I want you to highlight all of this and then hit Control B twice, because none of that should be bolded. But gosh, I hate that. I actually kind of like how you wrote some of this stuff. Like, A, this stuff doesn't count. I need your education up there. Where is your education? Education is boot camp and bachelor's of engineering. You don't need a bachelor's of engineering if you have a boot. What? Why would you include the boot camp and the bachelor's? No one cares about the boot camp. They care about your CS degree. People can't even see that. But your CS degree should be up here, right? This is where it should be. And then down here in, like, architected a secure multi-layered RESTful API using Fast API and Python. I don't care about asynchronous programming. Implementing custom stateless. This is too much. I want to know why you did it, but the first part is at least what I want. So why did you do that? Engineered a high-performance SQL analytics offloading. Again, too technical, but I do like that you say for scalable data modeling. The problem is, again, technical. Why did you do it? Fortified system reliability. Why? Are we under siege? What's happening? Are we under siege? Do we need to fortify the barricades? Is there siege weapons here? I don't know why you need to fortify this. By leveraging Pydantic for strict request validation, migrating DOS vulnerabilities. Again, a RESTful API is fine, but like this is incomprehensible. This is the resume that, like, I'm gonna need you to make it not as technical. You need to make it easy to understand. But like you have the right keywords. The problem is, A, the formatting is atrocious, but B, you don't want to just have keywords. You want to have qualifications, and I really need to see the business reasons why you've done what you've done. So fix the formatting, and you can probably salvage a couple of these. Fix the formatting, have your education up at the top, stop with all the bolding, and tell me the business reason you did this stuff, because you actually have these. I need the business reason. Otherwise, the manager is going to decline it. So, yeah, I don't know what else to do. This hurts my eyes. Next resume. This is a resume of a back-end Java developer. Their ratio is about 100 to 1-ish, maybe a little bit more than that. So it's not a good resume, but it's not absolutely garbage. Because, like, a 1 in 100 is bad, but it's like a D-, right? Like, they're still closing in on passing. Well, if it's 150, though, it's real bad. So what we need for a backend Java developer is Java, Spring, Spring Boot, Maven, SDLC, SQL, RESTful API, REST APIs, microservices, CI/CD, object-oriented programming, OOP, Git or Linux or Unix, Agile, Scrum, Cloud. Any of them is fine, but if it's GCP, you do need to put Google Cloud Platform. Architecting or systems work, Hibernate, Docker, Kubernetes, Kafka, and rare but nice to have is full stack, which is different than the full stack for full stack. This one I need JavaScript, React, Angular, and Vue, not JavaScript, HTML, CSS. And DevOps and RabbitMQ. Although if you don't have the nice to have, you can still get a job. That's okay. So I'm expecting to find 1 or 2 things I like, but probably not enough to move forward with them because it's a 1 in 100. So ignore that. That's how I pick resumes, as I spin a wheel on stream. So 20 seconds on the clock. And go. Okay, where's your you said, okay, education up there. This doesn't matter. So develop Java services. Okay, good. For enterprise tasks, good. Using Spring-based framework. Okay. Implemented REST APIs using JSON for front end and back end. Wrote SQL queries for dashboard. Worked with Jenkins. Okay. Built React. Why was this at the same time? And a teaching assistant. Okay, the time frame is wrong. All right, so this is why this is a 1 in 100. They told me prior to doing this that their real one has their education up at the top, so their education should be up the top, and in their real resume, it is actually at the top now. They have changed it. Second off, I don't think a CompTI matters. I have not seen a software engineer ever need a CompTI, so nothing here matters. If you're a help desk, you need CompTI, but if you're not help desk, you don't need CompTI, so this doesn't matter. Then formatting wise, again, we want to use this. This is not the worst, but this is clearer to read. This a little harder to read, this clearer to read. So none of this line over here, no line. I don't know why everybody puts this line here. I know it's one of the common templates like Jake or whatever, but no line there. This should not be bolded. And then we go down to here, and my big question is, this was a government agency and this was an e-commerce store. Why were the dates on these off? Why was this August and this September? So I would find a way to make this accurate. And if that's the case of that you just don't have this, that's okay. I'd prefer you have it, but we really want to make these things accurate because right now it's looking like they don't want to see you have multiple jobs at the same time. That's rarely a good look. So then we go on to the bullet points, and you do have the keywords, right? Which is why you're getting some interviews. The problem is you're not telling me the reason or result. And it's okay to have a 3-line bullet point, right? Like, it doesn't have to be 1 line. But like, develop Java services, okay, good. For tax systems, okay, good. Using Spring-based frameworks, okay, cool. But why? What services? What services did you develop? Did you develop their backend? Did you develop their web page? Did you develop what did you do with this? I don't know. You didn't tell me. Implemented RESTful APIs. Okay, good. Using JSON, hot dog for front end and back end communication. I need more. I need at least 2 more keywords. And then why is it important that you add front end and back end communication? This is the technical why. I don't want the technical why. I want the business why, which you do not have. Wrote SQL queries against relational databases for again, you only have 1 keyword here, which is bad, and this is the technical why, not the business why. Worked with Jenkins, okay, I don't care about Jenkins, I do care about CCD. For duplicated Kubernetes, okay, again, good, I need 1 more keyword here, and the business why. You know what I'm going to say here? Business why. Although I don't actually think there's anything here besides... Yeah, you don't actually need anything in this last one. There's nothing in that one that's good. And then built a React, good. The community gate QA, e-commerce functionalities. What e-commerce functionalities? I don't know. You didn't tell me. Design a responsive, accessible sort. Again, this is a back-end Java, so HTML and CSS are hot dogs for this. I don't make these, all right? I just find these. Used Prism, hot dog, and PostgreSQL. Hamburger, Versal, maybe Versal. Maybe Versal's extra credit. And then this. So you need to tell me, 3 keywords per bullet point, and you need to tell me the business reason why. If you don't tell me the business reason why, you're going to keep getting this ratio. Because some of these bullet points are not bad. It's just you need the business reasons. And then we go down here, and again, this doesn't count. This doesn't count. In fact, you don't mention Java at all here. I need you to mention Java. Here you do, which is good. But there you don't. So this is part of the problem, is your bullet points are... Again, this is like a D- resume, is that it does not pass, because it's a 1 in 100, but there's not a ton you need to fix. You need to tell me the business why. You need to add a little bit more keywords to some of these sentences. You need to fix your formatting, and then you should have a lot more, well... applications to you should have a lot more interviews. So that's all I can do for this resume, and that's it for this video. I just want to thank you all for watching, liking, commenting, subscribing, and thank you very much for my members who get access to videos a little bit early. If anybody wants to join that, they can join in the link below, but I'm a small channel, so thank you so much for supporting me. I really appreciate it, And if you ever need any more help, you can join my live stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 a.m. PST on twitch.tv/headlessheadhunter and YouTube right here. But that is it for this video, so I will see you all in the next one to help you get ahead of your job search. Later, y'all.